Hey everyone, how's it going? Another stream. It's been 2 weeks since the last one, as expected. I think the next unit after this is probably going to be 2 weeks later. So today, quite weird, not gonna lie. I don't think anyone was expecting this unit, but it is another Shift Theria unit, and that's kind of weird for me, and I do have a lot of concerns about this unit, but I do see that she can have some value, and it can be a pretty strong unit. It's just, we've got Spirit Maiden Theria, and I'm not comparing them both together. It's just, since they are both Theria, and you can't use both versions, it's a bit unfortunate. If this unit would have been its own separate unit, or someone else, like Sarah, then I personally feel like it would have been a lot better. I think this unit has some potential for sure. Let's have a look at them right now. I haven't done much. I haven't really looked at too much. I've checked her out a bit and have started the event and farming that and things, but personally, yeah, I'm not super excited about this update personally, but what I'm more excited about is I want to build Murren's E6 because he got a E6 in this update, which is pretty good, but it's not as good as I was hoping, but I still really want to get that, and I've been messing around with the arena and trying to build Ruto, and still a lot of stuff I want to do, so I'm not really too focused on getting this new unit because I have things that I still want to do. So let's have a look at this unit. First of all, Lily White Maiden Theria. I admit that she does look good, and she is mostly, you know, just for people that like Theria, basically. So, an interesting unit. I don't think anyone expected this. Lily White Maiden Theria. Obviously, since she's a maiden, you would think, oh, she compares to Spirit Maiden, but no. Nobody compare her to Spirit Maiden, because they play different roles. Even though it's still Theria, usually she has high expectations because she's Theria, to be honest. So she's a sorcerer, stats look okay, high intelligence, she's mostly going to be a mage, but she does have a few supportive skills, but not really as much as I was hoping for, because usually Theria has high supportive skills, but this one doesn't have that much. But her trait too, personally for me, looks pretty good. So yeah, nothing really to mention here. Attribute resistances are okay, element resistances look okay. That's kind of it. Nil to that, curse, silence, resistance to stun, it's okay. Abilities, I wouldn't focus on these too much because she's not going to do any physical damage at all, basically. So, skill 1 is whatever, pushes enemies away, kind of like Spirit Maiden Theria skill 1 is pretty similar, I would guess. It's just kind of useful to push enemies away, can help. Skill 2, targeted medium area, medium range, like combo attack, don't really need to say much about that. Skill 3 does have a give all allies strength/intelligence plus 20% buff, which is good. That's good, and that is a supportive skill, so I do like her skill 3. Her skill 1 and skill 2 aren't really anything that I'm excited about, personally. Don't build her as a physical DPS, because she doesn't really have anything to help her physical DPS, and she's never been a physical DPS in all of her shift forms. She's always been a support or a mage. Saintly Theria is a mage, but we mostly use her as a support right now, not a mage. Her special though, I think her special is pretty good. It's not amazing, but I can see it can be useful. It gives all allies a damage cap plus 4000 buff when hitting an attribute weakness. So the problem with this is you have to hit an attribute weakness, which means if you're using Trishula and the enemy is not weak, then you're not going to get any damage cap from that. And if you're using a non-attribute, then you're not going to get any damage cap either. But the good thing is that this will apply to all damage, so this can apply to mages and physical attackers and even special DPS units, as long as they're hitting attribute weakness, so that's a good thing. And gradually restores HP. It's okay, you know, I'm not really too excited about the special. It's a good buff, it's just We've seen a lot better buffs than this for specials, and a 4000 damage cap buff that you can't guarantee to be active isn't amazing, and that gradually restores HP. I don't expect that to be very much, because if it's similar to regeneration, then it's probably not going to do very much, is it? But maybe that restoring HP will be okay, but I don't expect much from it. So yeah, these skills personally for me, I'm not really too excited about these. I just think the main ones to note here are her skill 3, giving everyone a buff is good, and the special is good, it's just not as good as I was hoping for. And personally, since she's a Theria unit, I had high expectations for this unit, and I was hoping that she was going to be more of a good supportive unit, which she still is, but not on the same level as most people were thinking, I think. So there might be a lot of people that will be disappointed with this unit, but I'm not going to talk too much about that yet. Let's have a look at traits, which do get more interesting. Trait 2 is kind of complicated, but I do understand all of this, because I've already read this multiple times. So trait 1 is just a basic. Trait 1 gives light magic damage and damage cap. Doesn't give that much damage cap, if I'm honest, but she does have ultimate casting and other skills to help damage cap, so her damage cap in total can be around 100,000, which is pretty good, and you can increase that further by, obviously, there's a lot of ways to increase damage caps now, and especially light, I think. Like critical damage cap, 10,000. I don't really ever like critical damage caps, because it just feels bad, because you have to focus on crits and it's random anyways. Unless it's a crit focused unit like Phal, who has a lot of crit, then that makes sense for a unit like that to have a lot of crit damage caps, but not really on this unit. Chance for light attack magic to deal critical damage makes sense when light attacking enemy defense and mind minus 20% to deal damage. So basically this just means if you're physical attacking, then you get 20% piercing, and if you're magic attacking, then it's going to be mind minus 20%. So that's basically what it's saying. I don't know why it's defense minus 20%, because she's not really going to physical attack, and when you're using magic attacks, it's not going to target defense, so it's fine. The trait 1's very basic, it's not really anything special, but trait 2 is where it gets very interesting for me, and I think her trait 2 is probably going to be her main use. That's what I would use her for if I do get her today, but just to let you know, I don't plan to do that many summons just because I'm not too excited about this unit at the moment, but I can see her having some future potential for sure. So, Soul Engagement, this is a pretty good trait. At the start of battle, it gives herself and the living ally with the highest strength a engagement ring buff, and only 2 units can have that buff, so if there's another Theria in the team, then it's not really going to do anything. They're only going to be a buff on this one Theria and the unit with the high strength. And what you get from that is it increases both of those units' skill and magic damage between 10% and 30%, and damage cap between 1,000 and 10,000 depending on how close they are together. So I like the idea, I really do, and 10,000 damage cap is a lot for a trait. Is probably the highest damage cap we've got on a trait from a unit as a supportive buff. That's amazing. And the only problem with this is the units, those 2 units basically have to be on top of each other or just super close together to get that maximum bonus. So if you're using Theria and any physical DPS unit that is close range, then you're not going to get that much of a bonus, because they're going to be up in the enemy's face just fighting them, and Theria's going to be at the back, and there's some distance there, so you're not going to get that much of a bonus. But if you're using, let's say you're using just Theria and a second mage in the team, then you can just put them on top of each other and they'll both get that bonus 10,000 damage cap and 30% damage. That's great. Or if you're using a long range physical DPS, which is the main use, I think, That's why this, I think, is going to be amazing, because adding a 10,000 damage cap to a physical DPS with dual wield is just crazy strong. That's so strong, but the problem is we don't have that many units that can benefit from this right now. I can think of dual wield Roy would benefit from this a lot, because you can just put Roy and Theria right next to each other, spam Roy's skill 3, and that's going to get plus 10,000 damage cap. But you could do that. That could be something you could do, but again, it's not the craziest thing, and there aren't that many other units that can benefit from that. Obviously there's Phal and Nael, but that's kind of it for the moment. In the future though, if we get a long range physical DPS unit that is dual wield, then they're going to be able to benefit from 10,000 damage cap as long as the two units are close together. One thing to note though is you can't just go in the battle and start spamming skills, because you have to do some setup for this, which kinda, I don't know about this, but it's not as easy to use. You can't just go into the battle and instantly get that buff. You have to make sure the two units are close together so they get the buff, which it makes sense because the buff 10,000 damage cap is quite a lot. That's kind of the main use for this unit I can see right now. And yeah, that's basically this whole trait, is just that buff. The engagement ring buff is just this whole trait, talking about it, making it more confusing. The buff lasts until unit is incapacitated, or if one unit dies, then they will lose the buff. So basically don't die. As long as you don't die, then the buff is continuous on both units, which is amazing. That's very good. So I do like this a lot. Personally, I still prefer Lelouch as a buffer. I think he's just a way better support in my opinion, but this engagement ring buff does sound pretty good, and in the future I could see this being amazing to buff some units, but right now it's not something you need. It's just something that would benefit some units a lot, and if you have only her and a mage in a team, like I said, then yes, it could be good, but you gotta focus on that. You can't just expect to go in a battle and it be easy. You've got to do some setup with her, which kind of makes it not as fun to use sometimes and more difficult, but it makes sense. So she's got a lot of magic focus skills right here. Galaxy, Starverse, Holy War 2 we've seen before, but she does have two new magic skills which are fun. I do really like magic units, I know. The difference with this unit though is that we don't need more light mages because we've already got a few of those, and Maja's still good. So it's not like we really need a light mage. If it was any other element, I would have been happy with that. Literally any other element apart from light would have been good, but we don't really need a light mage. Holy Nova, powerful wide area light combo attack. This one is a stackable magic, so you can use this on top of other magic, other non-stackable magics. So this is good. 27 MP, I think it's okay. It's not really anything I'm excited about. It's not really anything I'm excited about, but it looks okay to me. Starverse, we've all seen this. I do like Starverse. It's just a bit slow. It takes some time to cast. And then you got the main magic skill right here, which is Eternal Saber. Powerful small area light attack. So it doesn't sound that crazy if you read it, but 50 hits. It's 50 hits and it's non-stackable, so in total this can do some ridiculous damage, like 5 mil damage per cast, which is amazing. But I'll test this out later, but if you've seen this, is basically a single target magic attack, because it is a very small area attack. It's like a bunch of light spear things targeting one unit, so it doesn't really have any area of effect at all, which means yeah, it's mostly against bosses and you can't really use it to kill waves. So one problem with this is if you're on auto and the AI decides to use this on a wave, then it's not really going to do that much and you're going to be using a lot of your MP just to kill like one enemy. So against waves, this won't be good, and if you're on auto, just be careful of the AI using this by accident on auto. This is kind of a manual unit, I think, because you're going to be using this against bosses, and against waves you probably use Starverse, or a mixture of Starverse and Holy Nova, or Galaxy and Holy Nova. You would probably do that on manual gameplay. So yeah, I do like these. I do like this personally. It's just mostly a boss killer magic attack, which is fun. It's just not something we need, and it's light magic. So yeah, she can do a lot of damage, but you also got to remember we got Maja, who has Starverse and Galaxy and stuff like that already. So yeah, I wish it was a different element personally. And then we get on to the normal skills down here. It's nothing really that crazy. Basic skills, MP up max, Arcane up max, Esoteric up to Advanced Aim Vitals, Proud Force. She does have some good crit, by the way. Very nice crit skills. Sorcerer Mastery. Give magic attacks a Night Slayer effect, that's pretty good. Anti-Night type effect, yeah, that's good. That's basically the only Slayer that she has. She doesn't have any other Slayers. Well, for mages they're geysers, but Slayers are easier to say. Yeah, she doesn't have any other geysers. Auto Grand Aura is the first time with we've seen this apparently, but this is gonna become more common on newer units. They're gonna have grand effects instead of the normal effect, which we've seen a lot recently. Wisdom's Protection is nice. More defense and mind at the start of battle is whatever. Auto critical, so she does have good crits, but she doesn't have any crit up 1, 2, or 3. She's missing those. And then we get on to a lot of light damage boosts. Auto Advanced Circle is good. Moonlight 2 is good. High boost, attack raise 3, critical raise. She is, to me, she does mostly seem like she's focused on light magic damage on her skills alone. Her trait 2 is focused on buffing one single ally, and they have to be close together, so it is kind of got to do some setup for that. But Archangel's Blessing, Immovable Object, High Level Magic Chant, basic skills for a mage. I do like to see those. Ultimate Casting, we've seen this a few times now, so we should know what this does. Basically, your non-stacking magic's going to do a lot more damage and have more damage cap, but your casting speed is slower. And then we've got a new one here, which is Ultimate Casting Enhancement. Basically, Ultimate Casting is going to get 20,000 more damage cap, which is nice. So, yes, her non-stacking magic is going to do a lot of damage for sure, but do we even need that? And we've got Maja, who has Starverse, so you could just use him instead if you want Starverse light magic, you know. That's the thing is we've got alternatives. Beast Repellent, Staff Boost, Giga Boost is good, more damage cap. It's funny that it gives physical damage because it's useless for this unit, completely useless. Staff Master is interesting, that's a new one as well. Staff Equipped, magic damage cap 2000. When you're using non-stacking magic, then 7000 damage cap instead. Rogue Mega Boost, Decoy, Convergence. I do like these. When taking lethal damage from an enemy, spend 2% of the damage as MP and survive with 1 HP. It's going to use a lot of your MP, but it does help for survivability quite a bit. You could use it in places like Arena, but obviously start out with 0 MP. She's not going to be an Arena unit. Maja is going to be better in Arena. I'm saying that right now because I know, because Maja has Human Geyser, and that's just very effective in Arena for sure. And this unit, this Theria doesn't really have that much focused on for arena, but she does have a lot of crit, so potentially. I just don't see it. I don't see her as an arena unit personally. And then Heavenly Veil's a new one, continuous recast and regenerate effects. Good to have. And then her 6th enhanced skills. Light magic damage cap 2000, so 6000 damage cap there, it's nice. Less physical damage taken and magic damage taken. So basically what I'm seeing here in total, all of these skills are focused on magic damage and damage cap. And just basic mage skills. That's why I am not super excited about this unit so far, because all of these skills, there's not really that much supportive skills in her kit. It's mostly as a mage, mostly focusing on her as a mage, but I wanted a mage. I've been saying I wanted a mage for a while, but I didn't want a light mage. That's the only thing I didn't want. I wanted other elements, like we don't have a thunder mage at all, so I really want a thunder mage. I want some more mage units, just not really something like this, personally. Because we've got light mages, we've got Maja, who's the main one I can think of. We've got Lily as well, but she's a bit outdated at this point. So yeah, we've got other options for light mages. So yeah, she seems good to me. She's not terrible, she's good. But I'm trying to think of where you would want to use her. Because if you're using this version of Theria, then it means you're sacrificing Spirit Maiden Theria just to use this version, which means you can't use her on your team. So you've got to think about that. If you want to use Lily White Maiden Theria, then you need a different supportive unit. If you don't have one, then you're going to struggle, and I wouldn't recommend to get this version if that's the case. But if you do have Spirit Maiden Theria and someone like Sarah or Moana, I still can't say her name right, but her, if you have one of those two units, then you're fine, and you could use Lily White Maiden Theria and one of those two units in a team as a supportive unit, and that would be good. But Spirit Maiden Theria is still the best supportive unit in the game, so I'm not comparing the two units. It's just hard to do that since they are both Theria and you have to pick which one you want to use. Again, it depends on the content, because Lily White Maiden Theria, if you want to super buff one unit in the team and a damage cap, then you could do that and increase someone's damage cap by 10,000. If you want a light mage, then yes, you could use Lily White Maiden Theria and she'll be the best at it, but would you really want to use that instead of Spirit Maiden Theria in the team and use a different DPS, like a physical DPS like Luke, or a different mage like, I don't know, Lenius or Lagravos or Maja? You could use those instead, and then you're allowed to have Spirit Maiden Theria in the team. That's why I am not super excited about this unit. I'm not comparing the two units, it's just we have Spirit Maiden Theria, and that's the problem. That is the problem, really. So, at least from looking at this unit personally, she looks good, and I think she will be a good unit and a fun unit, but it's just not something that you're going to need. And if you've got Spirit Maiden Theria, then you're going to find yourself not really using Lily White Maiden Theria that much at all, because you're going to rather use Spirit Maiden instead, because she is a better unit and still the best unit in the game currently. So that is the problem. But if this version of Theria was its own separate unit and you could use her as well as Spirit Maiden in the same team, then that would be a different story. So in Guild vs Guild, I know you can use two of the same unit, I think, or maybe it's somewhere else I'm thinking of, I don't know, but you're allowed to use two of the same shift units in the same team. I'm thinking of Maze, actually. In Maze you can use two of the same version units, but I haven't touched Maze in ages, so I'm not really thinking much about that at the moment. And Guild vs Guild isn't even up right now, so yeah, I think here's the problem. I think she's a good unit, it's just where can you use her, and we've got Spirit Maiden, which is a better unit, so a bit controversial, she is a good unit. Let's have a look at the Ark. I want to talk more about the unit a bit later, and her paid equipments and stuff like that will be soon. But this Ark is actually interesting to me personally. I would like to get this Ark, so my plan today will be doing some tickets to hopefully get this, but I don't expect to get it, but it would be nice to have. So the trait, when a light attack has an anti-type effect, damage 35%. That's pretty good, and this is going to apply to all light type skills, so this can be physical damage or magic damage or even special damage. Any light attack, as long as you're hitting an anti-type effect, which is weird considering Lily White Maiden Theria doesn't really have any anti-type effects. She's only got one, which is Night Geyser. That's really it. Which is a bit weird because usually the Ark is focused on the unit, but you could use this on Maja for his human Geyser or any other light unit that has a Slayer or Geyser, or just put the relevant Slayer or Geyser on the unit anyways and you'll get 35% more damage. It's nothing crazy though. There are other better traits for that damage. Robe equipped, intelligence 15%, that's okay. Intelligence stats in general aren't really that crazy. Silence resistance +1 is interesting. On an Ark trait is actually pretty good. It's just nothing crazy. And Battlestar auto cast Holy War 2. That's very good because I believe auto cast Holy War 2, that should be on the whole team, which is very good. Holy War would be less dark damage taken to the whole team. I can see that being very good personally. As a supportive Ark trait, I think that's pretty good. So yeah, looking at the trait itself, I think this trait is not bad. I would like to have the trait. Maybe I would use this, but I can't think of anywhere I would want to use it right now, but I can see it having some use and isn't terrible, so that's pretty good. But the main thing about this Ark personally is the learnable skills, I think. So you've got the basic skills here: protection, arcane up, fast protection, light critical. Don't care about those, but the two at the bottom here, those are the two I'm more excited about. So we've got a new one, Robe Boost Plus. Yes, they're adding new symbols. In the future, it's going to be Robe Boost Plus Plus Plus. It's going to be so stupid. Or it's going to be Robe Boost Minus or something stupid. I don't know why. It's very funny to me, but what it does, 6 SC, and it gives you 10% magic damage and minus 10% physical damage taken. It's okay for 6 SC, but 6 SC just for 10% magic damage isn't worth it personally. But the less physical damage taken is good. It's just you've got to have a robe equipped. So yes, I can see this being good because let's say you're using a unit that already has every single damage skill possible, then you could put on Robe Boost Plus, and no unit in the game is going to have Robe Boost Plus yet because this is a new skill. So you can put on Robe Boost Plus on any unit you want and give them 10% more magic damage and minus physical damage taken. So for that reason, I think this is a good skill to have, and you could use this on like Shift Eliza, still very good, and especially in Arena, she's a top tier Arena unit right now. A lot of people are using her, so you could use Robo Plus on her if you want. I would like to do that, maybe. And then we got another skill which we've seen before, but on an Ark skill, that's very good. I'll tell you why. When close to death, very great, restore HP, intelligence, defense, and mind plus 50% boost movement speed. It's the same as Awaken, but for basically mages, because it gives intelligence buff instead of strength. So it's the same as Awaken, but here's the good part. You could put Sorcery Awaken on a tank unit now, if you really want to. Or you could put on Sorcery Awaken on someone like Prefect of God Mia. You could do that, because units that have Thaumaturgy Ring they're going to benefit from Sorcery Awakening quite a lot. So I think these two skills make this SSR Ark quite valuable to have on your account. So for that reason, I wouldn't recommend to pull for it, but I would recommend to use a few tickets if you have some, and maybe hope to get it, because I think it's a good one. I definitely do. These two skills, I do like these, and I would definitely see myself using these on a few units. So that's why I think this is a good arc. The Arcade reward I didn't really look at too much, but it's nothing really crazy. It's a robe. It's a bit weird to me. I'm trying to understand why. So you can only equip this on women units, and it gives MP defense mind, right? But the trait HP recovery to male units from units active skills plus 40%. So basically, the female unit that has this robe on is going to do 40% more healing to male units, which is actually pretty good if you think about it. 40% more healing, that's pretty good. And it also draws less enemy attention, so this is actually not a bad robe. It's not bad, it's actually pretty good. Gives resistance to poison, which is whatever, we don't really care about poison too much. So it's a decent robe, but I definitely think the main use of this arc is these two skills. I would like to get this arc, so we will be trying to get this. My hope is we get the units from the step gacha or a few of the free crystal summons in a bit, and then get the arc from potentially some tickets. That's what I'm hoping for, but I don't think that's going to happen. We'll see later, but I would definitely like to have this arc as soon as possible, because Road Boost Plus and Sorcery Awaken, I definitely want to fit these on some of my arena units for sure. Now, I've been messing around with arena quite a bit recently, just messing around with attack teams mostly. That's been quite fun. So yeah, personally, my thoughts on this banner: Lily White Maiden Theria is a bit controversial to me. She's good, it's just we've got Spirit Maiden, and she's a better unit, obviously. I'm not comparing the two, I'm just saying they are both Theria and you can only pick one in a team. So if you would rather pick one, then you got to think about what content you're facing and what team you want to build, and also what you have on your account, because if Spirit Maiden Theria is your only supportive unit, then I wouldn't recommend to get Lily White Maiden Theria at all, because you ideally in most content you at least want one supportive unit, and Spirit Maiden Theria is still the best one, but there are alternatives like Moana and Sarah are two supportive units that I can think of that are good, and you could put those in the team with Lily White Maiden Theria and do well, and another DPS unit in the team as well. That would do pretty good. But if you don't have any other supportive unit and only have Spirit Maiden Theria, then don't bother getting Lily White Maiden Theria, because you're not really going to see yourself using this version of Theria that much. So that's kind of what I think at the moment, is look at your account. If you've only got Spirit Maiden Theria, or if you think you're going to be using Spirit Maiden Theria more often, and if you think Lily White Maiden Theria won't benefit your account that much, if you don't see yourself using her that much, then I wouldn't really recommend to pull for this unit that much. So that's kind of what I think, and the reason behind this is mostly because Spirit Maiden exists, and she's still the best unit. And the arc itself, I think is very good, but since it's an SSR Ark, you can skip it. You don't need to use crystals for an SSR Ark, you can just use tickets instead and hope to get it there. And we do have these daily pulls for another 12 days, up to 13 pulls, so that's 130. It's pretty good. Can't get the new stuff there, but you can from this ticket gacha. I've got quite a lot of these, which I will be using later, once we get the summons in a bit, but I do want to look at the paid equipment now, which is also not good. It's not good. I'm not being negative, but Phal had a 50 credential paid, and Lily White Maiden Theria also has a 50 credential paid. I'm refusing to get them because I don't want to spend for 50 credential paid equipment, okay? I prefer the 25 paid credential equipments, personally. Most people do. 50 credentials too much. And let's have a look at that right now. Because it's good, you'll see it in a second, it's just 50 credentials, I wouldn't go for it, and I stuck by my words, and I didn't get Phal's page, I got a prism instead. So yeah, I've been trying to not spend as many crystals on this game, so for that reason I have been thinking more smarter, and saying things wrong is what I'm good at, not smarter. Let's have a look. So she's got one paid equipment, it's a robe, which doesn't make too much sense considering the SSR Ark is a robe as well. Would have made sense if this was a staff or something, potentially, or an accessory. Let's have a look. So, engagement dress, MP defense, mind, intelligence, very good stats, for sure. Now the trait, I have to say this, the trait is good, it's just for 50 credentials not worth it. Continuous high magic barrier effect, that's very good. Draw less enemy attention, that's good as well. Damage taken minus 15%, that's great. Light magic attack damage cap plus 5,000. So here's the thing, is if you're using Lily White Maiden Theria as a mage, then she's not going to get any damage from this robe, that's the problem. If you're using her in a place where you need more damage instead of damage cap, then this isn't going to do that much because you're not getting any magic damage, only getting magic damage cap. And there's a difference. If you were to use her in arena, for instance, then you wouldn't really want to use this robe unless you were using her as a supportive unit, or if you want to benefit from the high magic barrier and drawing less enemy attention and less damage taken. Up to you, but if you want her to do more damage, then this robe isn't giving any damage, but it is giving damage cap and a lot of useful things for taking less damage. So yes, it's good, it's very good, it's just you don't need it, and that's why I'm not going to get it personally. But if I was a person to really like this unit, then yeah, I would get this because it's still very good. And if you think about it, high magic barrier effect is minus 35% magic damage, and then you're also getting minus 15% damage. So that's minus 50% magic damage there from this robe, which is amazing. Definitely very good to have, but you don't need it, again. And she's a mage anyway, so the idea is you're using magic and the enemy isn't. That's the whole idea. So yeah, high magic barrier effect isn't really that important on this unit. Drawing less enemy attention is useful. Less damage taken is amazing. And the damage cap's good. She also gets stun resistance and 5 dark resistance. So yeah, it's a good robe, but I wouldn't recommend to get it specifically. I would only recommend it if you're really close to get it, or if you've already got the 50 credentials to get it, then you might as well get it because it's very good. But myself, I wouldn't pull just to get this because it's not worth that, for sure. I would rather get a prism if I was at 20 instead of doing 30 more pulls just to get this robe. It's just not worth it, you know. But it depends on how lucky you get as well, because if you get the unit very early, like I did with Phal, I got pretty lucky with Phal, then don't spend just to get the 50 credential paid, because if you're just spending just to get that one paid equipment, it's not worth it. You can do well enough without it, and I realised that. So that's basically all I think about this robe. It's good. I'm just not going to get it, personally. And hero medal trading space is like normal. Nothing special. And that's pretty much it for the trading space. I might as well look at the event trading space. There is a prism. I'm gonna get these tickets first. There we go. Prism, might as well get everything from this event. I do like God Relic Prism Shards, I like those a lot. Luminous Soul Shards, they're useful. Ultra Clusters are useful. I've farmed quite a few ultra clusters over the past week or two. I got 19 of those, 15 of those. Yeah, I'm set for a little bit for a few units, but I'll have to start farming some more because I want to build Ruto and Murren to 6th Enhance very soon. Especially Murren, he's my #1 goal right now, is to get Murren 6th Enhance, but I don't have the materials to get that for him yet. I need the right Splendor for him, so that's the trading space. Nothing really exciting personally. The rope's good, the unit's good, the Ark's good, everything's good. It's just what do you need, and how much do you see yourself using the unit, you know? That's what I'm thinking about mostly. So I will do summons in a second. Let me just quickly go over the news, because I might as well go over that. So in this update, there isn't really too much. There is the mission rewards, which personally these aren't really that good. Then they don't really give that much rewards. It's mostly clusters and God Relic Prism Shards if you spend the paid crystals, and you can get splendors from it, but not many. So it basically paying 1,300 paid crystals to get 1 splendor and maybe a few ultra clusters. That's kind of it. It's nothing crazy, and you do get some God Relic Prism Shards, so it's not bad. It's just not the best either. So yeah, banners, events. I'll look at the event a bit later. Once after we've done the summons, I'll look at the event, and that's when we can look at the unit. Here's the interesting thing. I'm always excited about this. New 6th Enhance units. So we've got Murren and Kyle. Kyle I don't really care too much about. Murren though isn't as good as I was hoping. I was really hoping for a 6th Enhance to get less physical damage taken, because he's an amazing physical damage tank. I love that for him. He's probably the best unit for that. If you build him in a machine team, he's amazing. And that's what I've currently got on my attack team in Arena. Him as the main tank is amazing. So even though his 6th Enhance doesn't add very much, less magic damage taken isn't the best for him. It would have been better if it was physical damage. I still feel like his 6th Enhance is worth getting, because 6th Enhance gives more stats, and that's going to give him more defense and health. That's good for him. And also the 10 SC is great too, so that's why I feel like he's going to be worth getting for 6th Enhance. And he can be a DPS too if you want, but he's mostly a tank. He can be a breaker too. He's a very good unit. As a permanent unit, he's very good. But I'm definitely going to get a 6th Enhance. I just need his Splendor, which I don't have yet. Kyle's pretty good, I admit, but nobody really uses Kyle anymore. He could be good, but I just don't see myself using this. There's physical damage taken and damage taken, and some damage caps. I don't see myself using him. You could build him as a tank, but I just don't think it's tanky enough, I think. So that's kind of it. These 3 units, nobody really cares at all. Nobody cares. Murren is the one most people are going to care about, and that's basically it. And then we got 5 million downloads event thing. Is just some, yeah, that's the 10 spin gacha daily. You could get Murren from that, which would be the best thing you could get from that, probably. And then you got a new login event, and some updates, and that's pretty much it. There are some changes to the arena formations, but you can read those. It's not really anything amazing, but shield render, decreased amount of defense / mind cut. It's basically buffing them, adjusting them a bit. Sword render, sword breaker, it increased the amount of defense boosted and decreased the amount of mind cut. Basically a buff to those. I've been using those recently. I might just show you that, and yeah, that's pretty much it. So it's not a massive update personally. The anniversary and the collab was a way better update. I like those a lot than this, but I still think it's a good chill time, and I'm still enjoying doing other things that I need to do, like I need to still build units. So I decided to make a new team, and I'm using Sword Render because Sword Render is pretty good for a tank team. It mostly gives might evade physical attacks, boost defense, and lower chance to take crit damage. That's very good for a tank team. And as you know, Nael, her trait uses unit intelligence and enemy mind to determine damage. That's why I feel like she's going to be fine on Sword Render. Nael doesn't really benefit that much from Shield Render because physical attacks might have a piercing effect. I don't think that benefits Nael at all because she uses mind to determine damage. Yes, the Nullify enemy guard is good, but I'm trying out Sword Render for the moment, and this team with Shift Eliza. Some people have been using a similar team to me, but I decided to make this team, and I feel like this is doing pretty well. And I definitely want to build Murray Sacred Hearts, but just look, I need this Splendor. So what I'm probably going to do is I think I'm going to get those missions, the paid missions, and get the Splendor I need for Murren. I think I'm going to do that. If I just show you the missions, go to missions and you press this button up here and you got standard and premium. For premium you need 1,300 paid crystals, which isn't too much, but let's say it's like £10 or something, maybe a bit more. And what you're getting is a bunch of these materials, these medals, and some Prism Soul Shards. Don't really care about those. God Relic Prism Shards are very good, I like those a lot. I like stocking those up. 2, 4, 8, you get 8 of those, and 4 of these too. It's not bad. I counted these up and you get 100 of those premium medals. And then if I go to trading space and just show you what you can really trade for those things. Standard medal trading space is kind of underwhelming. You can't really get anything good from this at all. Kind of bad. Because all these materials I have a lot of already. You see, 39 of those, 21 of those, 19 of those. I got a lot of these. I don't need more of those. Premium medal trading space is where it's at though. You get 100 of the medals from the 1,300 paid crystals, and you can choose one Splendor and get some ultra clusters. That's kind of it. I think it is worth the crystals that you're spending, but it's just only if you feel like you need these materials. It's not the craziest thing ever, but I think I'm gonna do it because I want the Splendor. I want the Visionary Splendor from Murren, so I'm probably gonna do that. And I think it's okay, I don't think it's bad, but again, it's not the craziest thing, and you don't need to do it. You shouldn't really worry about it too much. This in general just isn't really that great, but just think of it like this is just extra free stuff. You're getting 2 God Relic Prism Shards. I'm assuming this is every month that you're getting this because it resets in 27 days, so yeah. All you need to do is just do the daily missions and then you get points for this to get free stuff. And if you want to get the paid version, then you can do that, but you don't need to. I might do it just for the Splendor, but that's pretty much it. So far, what I've seen from this update, it looks okay. There's a few good changes. Actually, there's one change I haven't mentioned yet, which is there are a few stages that have now changed so that they only have 2 waves now. Really? That's kind of the worst timing. I was just about to show something. Stupid game. So the stages where you get the ultra clusters, they are only 2 waves now, which is a huge change because that's going to save a lot of time. People were thinking the drop rates are going to be changed, but I don't think so. I just think it means there are less waves, so you're going to be able to do them faster, which means you get the ultra clusters faster now, which is a good change to me. I don't think the drop rate is any different though, which is okay to me. I personally like the farming and the grind to get it. Because I like this game, I like that aspect of it, spending the time to get those materials instead of just instantly getting them. I like that, personally. Some people may not have the time for that, and I get that, but they did make it a bit better. Press event, go to, if you don't crash this time, go to training, and all of these ability gates are now 2 waves. All of these are 2 waves, and they have reset the clear rewards. So all of these, they say new, so you can make sure to clear these at least once, and you can get some crystals. There's not many, but you might as well. It's 3 crystals anyways. And all of these are going to be 2 waves now instead, which is great. I like that change a lot. And I'm definitely going to be doing all of these at least once, just to get those crystals. And I did that with the green ability gates all once already. And I do plan to do the rest of those today, later, so that would be good. So let's move over to the summons now. My plan for this, I'm gonna do lap 1 and that's kind of it, with paid crystals at least, and then use some tickets and do some free crystals, because I've been saving a lot of free crystals recently. So my plan, lap 1 is always worth doing because it's 700 paid crystals and you're getting like 20 pulls. It's pretty good. Well, 21 in total is very good for what you're spending, the crystals you're spending. It's very good. But lap 2 onwards, I wouldn't recommend it unless you really want to, because it just goes back to 3000, and that's why I'm just going to stop after lap 1. I'm just going to do lap 1, and then after that I'm just going to use a few free crystals just to see if we get something, and then after that I'm just going to save the rest and do the daily pulls and hope to get something. But that's my plan, and I do want to use these tickets that I've got on here. So I think what I'm going to do right now is I'm going to start off with just doing these limited time tickets and just skipping these, and then I'll do the lap 1 and then see what we get from lap 1. If we don't get the unit from lap 1, then I'm just going to do a few of the free crystal summons and hope we get the unit from that. If we don't, then I'm just going to skip this unit. That's my plan, because I like this unit a lot. I just don't think it's worth it for me to get it, and I don't see myself using this unit that much. Her main use is going to be for her trait 2 engagement ring buff. Plus 10,000 damage cap is so good. That's why I would like to get her, for that 10,000 damage cap. That's kind of it, if I'm honest. For a light mage, it's good. She can be a boss killer. It's just, don't really need that right now. She can't really be used in that much content. I mean, she's not the best at a specific content, you know. There isn't a stage that she's required for, you know. And I don't think she's going to be the best option for everything. Yeah, wasn't expecting that to be anything new, because the only thing I'm missing from this ticket gacha is the new Ark, and the chance of getting that, I know it happened with Phal, but those were guaranteed SSR Ark tickets. I might as well use this one. I'm going to skip it because it's going to be a dupe of something. I know it, 100%. There's no way it's going to be in the new one. Definitely not. We'll go back to these tickets in a second, in a moment, but if we don't get the Ark, then we'll probably go back to tickets, because I have a lot of these. I haven't been able to use these tickets because since they made the permanent units now semi-limited for 6 months, I haven't been using these for ages, so I got a lot of these. I'm going to use some of those. Let's do step gacha. We're just going to do lap 1, then after that do some of those free crystal summons, and then that's it. Because I still want a chance to get the unit. I don't expect to get it, but I would definitely have some fun with this unit. I would like to get it. It's just I'm not going to go very hard. This one is a gold, so I'll watch the animations, but I don't think it's going to be anything from this. It's just going to be a gold. Chance of being a red, not likely at all. It's only 2. We do get the credentials from this, so lap 1 is very good. I'm pretty sure you can get 21 credentials just from lap 1, which is crazy good. But getting the 50 credentials is just not a good idea. Let's hope we can at least get a few reds from this one. And obviously the unit is what we're looking for. Theria. You know what would be great if Theria shows up on Theria? Has to happen, right? I think this one's a gold. Again, this is gold. 2 animations. Yeah. As expected. It's only 3. So we've only done 5 so far. Not that many. The temple, the free temple will be kind of the main thing that I'm hoping for. I don't want to waste too many of my saved crystals because I've been stocking those up for a bit and trying not to spend that many of those. Trying to be clever with what I'm spending on, you know, which is what most people should be doing. Theria is a gold. Maybe there can at least be a red here. I'm hoping for one, but if there are no animations, there might not be. It always depends on that. 1, 2, 3. Has to be 1 red. Yeah, be a unit. It is a unit, damn. Well, I don't think it's going to be the new unit, I tell you that. If it is, that would be crazy, because that would be great. I'll allow her to build her, but it's not going to happen. No. Wait. This is this happened with Phal as well. That's amazing. This saves a lot of pain to me. This really does. Lily White Maiden Theria. Won't you take my hand? Yes. She's basically the full waifu tier material right here. Basically, most people are gonna be like all over this, but I would be too, but I'm not that crazy. This is a huge one. This is the first unit of the day that we get, and it is the unit. I do like this unit. I'm gonna have some fun with it today. This is great. Now we just need the Ark. This is great news. You know why? I don't need to spend any more crystals. I can save everything else. And also, we've got one more temple right here. This is the temple of the day. The only temple you're seeing. Actually, I lied. We're probably going to use some tickets after this, just to hope to get the Ark. That's my plan, because I was hoping to get the Ark. Theria. Gold. Can we get the SSR Ark from this temple? Probably not. I don't think so. I don't think that's going to happen at all. That would be great. It would be similar to what happened with Phal, but I don't expect that. Nah, no reds from that. Sad. See, you can't get your hopes up, even when it looks good, because you have to wait for the animations just to see. So, that's all of those summons for today, but we are going to be using some tickets, and since we've already got the unit, we don't need to do any more summons, so that's great. I just want to check something, though. I just want to check something. What's funny is this. Oh, okay. This is the first unit that has 3 icons. Well, 3 icons down here. What they did is, this bothers me. This bothers me so much. They just moved the level up. And now, this is the only unit in the game that the level is up here and not down here. That bothers me a lot. That bothers me so much. It's really annoying. Anyways, here's the new one. We're going to look at her properly later. I'm quite excited about this because I wasn't expecting to get her at all. I was expecting just to skip her because I wasn't planning to do that many. But we will come back to you in a bit. But first of all, let me just check the trading space, and I also want to use a few more tickets. Because I've got a lot of tickets, I might as well use some to hopefully get the Ark, but I'm just going to speed through those and not waste any time. So yeah, you only get 11 from those. The free 10 pool doesn't give credentials, obviously. It is not worth a 10 pool just for a prism. I'm not going to do that. 2,700 just for one prism. I'm being smart here. I'm gonna save all these crystals as a first, and probably just get some potions or something from those. We only did 22 summons. Wow. I bet our luck's gonna disappear very soon. Once I actually want something, our luck's gonna be gone. I bet that. So right now, I still want to get the Ark, because I think the Ark's pretty good. So, just to check, probability, the Ark is in here, it's the new one. Yeah. And I'm gonna be doing some of these tickets. I don't have any guaranteed Ark tickets, but maybe I can get some Murren dupes or something good. Murren dupes or the new Ark is what I'm looking for. I just want to do a few of these because I'm tired of saving these and not having a use for those for these, so I'm just going to do a few of these. I don't know how many until I feel like that's it, and I'm just going to skip all of these because I don't want to waste your time. It's not going to be that exciting because the chance of getting something new very slim. It did happen with Phal's Ark though, so who knows. I would very much like to get the Ark. I feel like Road Boost plus 10% more magic damage on Eliza for Arena is going to be nice. And Sorcery Awaken, I just want to check. I'm pretty sure Prefect of God Mia doesn't have Sorcery Awaken. But Prefect of God Mia would benefit from Sorcery Awaken a lot if she doesn't have it already. I don't think so. She's a god type. I don't think she would have that, would she? No, she doesn't. She's got Awaken too. Ooh. Yeah, I think Prefect of God Mia is going to benefit from Sorcery Awaken a lot. So I would like that Ark, this Ark, for sure. So I'm saving these unit tickets for I don't know what. I guess nothing at this point. I'm going to do quite a lot of these. I'm just going to skip these. We're just going to hope for either a Murren dupe, because I'm going to be getting him to 16 hearts and he's great, or the new Ark. So if it's a red, if there is a red, then we're going to hope it's going to go new, but not expecting it at all. This isn't going to be that exciting, but this also gives us Crimson Ore. There's one red, not new. The chance of it being new, very slim. Not going to happen. We've got like 200 summons, but I'm not going to do all of them. There's another one, not new, obviously. All of this is just Crimson Ore, which helps. I did spend some Crimson Ore on Ruto's paid equipment the other day. No reds in this one. I don't know when I'm going to stop, but I do want to save at least a few of these. Still no reds. These are not rate up tickets, they're just normal tickets, because I would hope to get the Ark. There's 3. A new one? No, obviously not. That's the first dupe I've got of this Ark. That's interesting. Can we get the new Ark from these tickets? No, I don't think so. That's quite small. No reds. Sad. Yeah, I'm gonna use... how many more? Do I want to save 100? I don't know. There's one red. Go new for me. No. Most of the time it's gonna be an Ark, if I'm honest. Can we get a Murren dupe as well? Murren. No. It's fire though. We'll have a look at Theria very soon, after I finish these. I've been saving these for ages. Myron? We're not going to get anything from these tickets, but it was worth a try. I think we do have 100 left right now, so I could stop here, but I don't think I am. Not new. Was a unit though. I might as well use all of these, right? Depends. 2? No. Also no. Yeah. If there's a red in this temple, I'm stopping. There is. Okay. Well, I would have still liked to get the Ark, but I could just do a few more. I shouldn't though. I mean, why am I saving these? I don't know. I could get the Ark any other time, you know? And it's not like I'm spending Christmas for this, this is just all free tickets, so I haven't had a reason to use these tickets. If this temple gives me a red, I'm gonna stop. I'm gonna watch this one. This one better give me a red, and it will be good. Be a Murren or the new Ark, I swear. Those are the two things I want. The only two things. Has to be one red. See, there was. It's only one. I knew it. Well, that's it for today. Really, I've seen you twice today. You're already at plus 30. We need a shift logger. We need a shift logger. He's great, but he used to be great. And one more. Final red. No. Okay, that's... Oh. That's Phal's Ark. What a joke. What a joke. Red. Okay. Okay, I'm gonna stop there now. Why was there no reds in there? Okay. How many do we have left? Tickets? I don't think there are that many, but... don't have any other reason to save them. Yeah, we've still got 30. I'll use another one. Might as well. Has to be a red here. There has to be... Nope. Bad. Yeah, I'm not gonna do any more. I think I could just use them all. You know, I could just do that. Looks like we're doing that. This is all free crimson ore, by the way. Yeah, we'll stop there. We don't need to do any more. I was just hoping to get the Ark, but I could get that in the future anyways. I could use these, you know, I could. I have those, but I have no use for those yet. And yeah, I will never use crystals just for a permanent SSR Ark, okay? I will not. I can wait. I don't need this right now. It just would have been nice. So, that's all of those. What's our plan now? Well, do you know what the plan is? We're gonna have a look at Lily White Maiden Theria. Let me just check the trading space one last time and then we'll try her out, but it's gonna be kind of hard to try her out because she's a mage and also a supportive unit, so those are more difficult to test. I do have Phal fully built now. She's amazing, by the way. Her DPS is so crazy with this build that I've got. She's so good. Is her banner still up? I think so. Yeah. Her banner's still up if you want to get her. Which units would I recommend? Well, either you could save if you want, because personally I wasn't too excited about Phal or Theria, personally. Even though I got both anyway from luck, it's just that the other, like, the 3 Emperor's units and the collab units were just way more exciting to me, you know. Especially Lelouch. I like Lelouch quite a lot. And you also got to think about, I'm pretty sure the next unit is going to be another DOH unit, and after that there's going to be, should be a summer unit coming up in like a month, in like 4 weeks. So let's have a look at Theria right now. I want to build her, which means we're going to be going over to the Steam version instead, because that's way better, way faster. Close this. Yay. So my plan, I might use a rainbow potion, I don't know. Maybe not, maybe so, I don't know. I'm good at rhyming. Well, I don't have any potions to level her from 80 to 100 if I were to use one of those. Yeah, I've got 90,000 free crystals right now. That's pretty good. We didn't need to spend any of those. I'm just trying to think. Yeah, we'll talk about builds and stuff later, because I need to build her first. So, what do I want to do with her? Well, I don't have many of these potions because I use those on Phal, I think. I do have a rainbow potion, well, 8 of those. I could use them, but should I? I want to save them, I'll be honest. So I'm going to use a crimson potion because I got a lot of those. My idea is maybe we won't get her to level 100 today because I want to spend my time with this unit. Since she's not someone that I'm, you know, looking forward to building fully yet super fast, because if she was like an arena unit, then yeah, I would be more happy, more excited about wanting to build them and trying them out, but not yet. Yeah. So, I want to go do the XP stages and get some XP for her in a minute. I have a question. Why she's 17 and she's marrying, you know, wedding dress, and she's not 18 is... Job is a bride, yeah, job, bride, weapon staff. Eats less than usual, don't ask why. Okay. Fine, I won't ask. I wish he was 18 instead, but we're just gonna leave it there. Let's unlock all the abilities we can so far, and then I want to try and level her up from a few XP stages. I do admit I really like mage units, so I will have some fun with this Theria for sure, and I think she's going to be a replacement for Maja. If you're using Maja for the farming with Starverse, then you could just use Theria instead. It's not going to be that much of a difference, but it might be a tiny bit faster, or just no difference. She'll be doing some more damage at least, if you need it. Probably easier to build as well. Definitely looking forward to trying her new magics out for sure. We're going to be doing that very soon. What I want to try is her single target magic type skill. I just want to see if it is. I'm pretty sure it can hit multiple enemies, it's just they need to be like on top of each other. There needs to be a gangbang going on for her to be able to hit multiple enemies, basically. Convergence is great. I don't think she's going to be an arena unit even though she is a mage. I might try her in arena, but I don't think it's going to be good. Her robe, yeah. If I were to get her robe, I would need to do 39 summons with paid crystals, which is just way too much. I'm not going to get her robe. I will show you free-to-play builds, but from my perspective, this is like an endgame perspective, you know, different than a new player free-to-play perspective. I can do free-to-play endgame builds with this unit, like I did with Phal. I might, you know what, I might showcase Phal later on as well. I might do that, because she's fully built now, so I can show what she can do fully. That will be fun. I should probably change the title of the stream real quick to put on Showcase. It's so funny. The game knows sometimes. The game knows when I'm not planning to pull for a unit, and then they give it to me just so I can showcase the unit. How nice. Doesn't always happen. Where is it? I wish there was an unlock all button, I really do. Edit button. HP. Eternal Saber. Yeah. I'm definitely going to have some fun with this unit. Theria with Nael. That'll be nice. Theria with Linus is going to be a very good team for sure. But there is a problem with that. Linus, since the engagement ring buff is only to the higher strength units, it's going to be hard to put it on a mage. And showcase title updated. Esoteric Cup 2. Almost there. What's her award? Magic damage taken minus 1%. Fine. That's not great. That's kind of bad, but it's fine. There we go. 108. What I'm gonna do now is let's look at equipment now. What build would I have on her? Well, she's mostly a mage, but she is a supportive unit too, but not really as much. It's funny though, she is not as good of a supportive unit as Saintly Theria is. I mean, what I mean by that is Saintly Theria has more supportive skills because she has her trait 2, which is more supportive than Lily White Maiden Theria. You know what's funny? Compare their trait 1s. This is funny. Magic damage cap 40%, damage cap 4000. Damage cap 60%, damage cap 12,000. It's funny. That's quite funny. I mean, I know this is not 5th enhanced yet, so yeah, could be better, can be better. Let's have a look at equipment now. So, she can equip bows for whatever reason and staff. Obviously a staff. The basic build that most people are going to think of is probably a staff and a robe with accessories focused on casting speed and magic damage or survivability. And MP, since she's a light mage, you could use Maja's wand if you want, because that's pretty good, or you could just use the best staff in the game, which is this one. If you've got this one and you have Theopolis, then definitely use this one. This will be the best one, but Maja's wand's pretty good. I might just use that. Maybe. Probably. Or just... I mean... It doesn't really matter. Maja's wand... It depends. Because the good thing about Maja's wand is it gives 40 MP. And this one doesn't give any MP at all. But it does have better stats and 5% more damage than this. But for now, I'm going to be using Maja's wand. For robes, basically you only are going to be using a robe. Obviously, Fantasia Cape is going to be the best one to use, and her paid robe, but I'm not getting her paid robe, so this is just a free-to-play build. I would use this, I probably am going to use this, for sure, because it's more damage. Sounds good to me. Very good to me. If you want to use her as a support, you could use this if you want, because this is a good supportive staff. I'm waiting for when this has a God Forge. That would be great. Make the trait plus 35% buff, that would be so good in the future, but I don't know if they will do that. That would be good if you're using her just as a support, but most likely you're going to be using her as a mage, I think. But her engagement ring buff is going to be, could be your main use, that's what I was thinking. So that's it for robes and staffs, pretty much. There aren't really that many options. More MP if you want anything for magic damage or light damage, anything like that, but ideally you want a robe because she's going to have robe boost. There aren't that many robes. Fantasia Cape, if you don't have Fantasia Cape, then definitely get it right now because it's so good. It is the best robe in the game, and you can use it on any mage. It's very good. Definitely recommend to get that. Maja's one's pretty good too, so I'm going to be using those for now. Then accessory is a bit different. I think you are going to need at least one casting speed accessory, so cultist pendant, and then the second one can be anything you want, I think. So for that reason, you could just go for more MP if you want, or a revive accessory, or something for more. Like, this is pretty good. That's pretty good. You could put that one if you want. I might do that. That could be a good accessory. More damage and minus enemy minor deal damage, and has 50 MP. I think that's pretty good. If you don't have those, then you could put on more damage cap if you want, because her damage with her 50 hit magic skill, that's going to be pretty good, even though 1000 damage cap isn't going to do too much. And this is good. Actually, that might be better because it gives resistance to curse and stun and more MP, 10% damage. That might be better. I don't know, it kind of doesn't really matter because they're both good anyways, so up to you. You could use this if you want. I might consider using that. Anything else? Not really. This is okay. Anything with damage or survivability, it depends on your build. This is good. If you want more MP, then this is the one, but it is a limited collab accessory, so you may not have that. I think for now I'm going to use this, just focused on magic damage, basically. That's what I'm focusing on right now. Stats look okay at the moment, but obviously she's not fully built and not even 5th enhanced yet, which is sad, but what I will be doing right now is focusing on leveling her up. So we're going to try and level her up as much as we can and then start testing her and trying out the new magic. Testing out her supportive buffs is going to be fun. Going to be very good. I am looking forward to the supportive buff personally because I feel like that could have some good potential, especially in the future. So she's definitely going to be a good unit to have on the account, on anyone's account, but not something you need. Let's just try to get her to level 100, but I don't think we can yet. It's not really a big deal because since she's a mage, I don't think 5th enhanced is going to improve that much compared to other units, so it's fine. For now, let's use Galaxy. Eternal Saber 180. Let's use Galaxy. It's going to be slow casting because ultimate casting, but look at the damage on it. Good so far. She isn't even fully matched yet. And she's doing decent damage. Not even hitting any geyser effects. She does have good equipments. That animation is pretty good. I do like that. She just brings out a cake and a knife out of nowhere and just gets ready to cut it. Or you. Either one. Up to you. Could be Yandere, but I don't see that happening. Not like Lily. There are some event stages for XP, but I may have already done those. Maybe. Let's try Starburst now. This is kind of a test. Very slow. Didn't even get a chance to attack, which we're not even showcasing yet. I just want to level her up a bit. I guess we could showcase first and then try and level up. You know what? I like that idea better. $90. 10 more levels. I may be able to do that. Probably. Let's come back to that in a minute. I want to showcase her by herself just to see how much she can do. This isn't going to be a full damage showcase, but just her base damage and seeing how it does, I think, is a good idea. I always do that. So, I didn't even have an arc on. I think Lily Matter's going to be a good arc to have because it gives light damage and damage cap, and it's just very good in general. So I think this is great. I could level it up too for even more. That would be good. The arc skill as well. How many Archive, how many UR Stardust? 53. Yeah, I'm still saving those, by the way. No reason to. I don't know if she has light Mega Boost. I don't think so. That means light Mega Boost from Lily Match is going to be great. Let's try this. This should be doing quite a bit more damage. I may as well use the arc skill as well. I'm just going to use the arc skill and Starburst to begin with, just to see how much it does. And then I will try the stackable magic in a second. So how much? That's pretty good actually. It did kill the boss. Let's finish off with Holy Nova. That's not bad. I do kind of like it, it looks cool, but it's just, how good is it going to be? I don't think it's going to be that great because her stackable magic damage cap is kind of low compared to her non-stackable magic. But the whole idea is like with Lenius, you can use a non-stackable magic and then use a stackable magic at the same time. I'll try to do that, but I don't know if she can do that. I'll try. I'll use a Starverse and then a stackable magic and then Starverse again. Or Galaxy. Starverse first. And then Holy Nova. That's because I got flinched though. Yeah, that wasn't... That's good damage. That wasn't really a good test, but the damage is good. I think it's because she is hitting her geyser, which is Night Geyser. She has that. So that's why the boss is dying so fast. I admit, so far it looks like it's pretty good damage, and might be to do with the arc and the equipment that I have, but she isn't even built at all. I want to try the other one I haven't tried yet. So there is one magic skill that is quite interesting, and I'm going to use it right now. It's the Eternal Saber. It is non-stackable magic, but just look at this. Just look at what this does. It killed them all. 50 hits. That magic is just so good. It's mostly a boss killer because the range, as you can see, is quite small, but it can AoE enemies like it did right there. It killed all of them. It's got a very small AoE, but it's mostly a boss killer, and if you're using it in waves, then it's going to do terrible. So on auto, she isn't going to do very well if you've got that magic on auto. So if you're using her as a wave clearer, remove this. But if you're using her on manual and you want to use this against bosses, then this will do so much damage. As you can already see, she already killed all the enemies in one magic, and she wasn't even hitting damage cap, and she's not even built properly. You know, it's pretty good. It's amazing. And now I could try out her skills and everything. You know what? I'll do that. I just keep having to remember I can't support Theria with Theria. It's funny. The only person that can be better than Theria is Theria herself. Just need a Honey Elixir unit and Great Wall Ruin, and we'll test this out. I want to try her skills out just to see those animations and her special skill as well, but her special, it doesn't do damage, it's just a buff, so I can't really show that, but it'd be okay. Maybe I should use Theopolis instead of Lily Matter, you know? You're right, I should, but it doesn't really matter because they got light resistance. They're like weakness anyway. So her skill stocks, it doesn't really matter because she's a mage. Yeah, it's bad anyway. 4-2-1, and her skill 3 is her main one. Yeah, that's kind of like Spirit Maiden Theria's skill 1. Okay, and skill 3 is quite fast, and it gives a buff. Yeah, that's pretty much it. That's all we're seeing. Then her special. Her specials looks cool. It's kind of trippy. And yeah, it just gives a buff. But now that's gonna give her a buff for more light magic damage cap. Well, if I check it, it gives, there's engagement ring, boost WP, attribute, damage cap, yeah, weak point, damage cap. Also, if I go just right on top of Sarah, that's going to be the engagement ring, full bonus. So, let's use Starburst, and this should do a lot of damage, I expect. Only going to use Starburst this time. I want to be right on top of Sarah. Come here. Let's just do this. Let's just don't move. Oh, 111,000. She's hitting damage cap already. That was great damage, and it can be even higher. Her 6th enhancer's damage cap, and her 5th enhancer that I don't have yet can increase her damage cap a bit more as well. And you can increase her damage cap further from like light mega boost and other skills potentially, and other buffs, so that's pretty great to me. Anything else that I could test? Well, I do want to test the magic a bit more. Yeah, I want to try that with Theopolis. I might just try this. See, I'm thinking there might be a chance. I don't know if there's a chance that if you cast it, can it just completely miss the enemy? If you cast a Tonal Saber, can it just completely miss? That would be funny, but also dumb. I don't think so. Let's use Lily Matter. I want to use Eternal Saber against the boss. Or just anyone. And then a Theophilus. Like right now, just to see what happens. I can't really see, but yeah, it missed one enemy. Do it again. Now you can see the damage. Ooh, the damage is great, and its 50 hits is so good, but I think since it is quite fast, the DPS of this is going to be pretty high compared to other magic skills that we've got, because as you know, magic isn't for DPS, but this one in particular is more focused on single target DPS kind of thing. I want to try that one more time. This time though, I want to try using that and then stackable magic just to see if I can cast both at the same time, but I don't think I can, because the animation is pretty fast and the casting speed's quite slow, so I don't think it's possible. And then after this, I probably want to test out a full supportive build. Well, supporting her, making her damage as much as possible, and then testing out her engagement ring buff. So I'm going to use that, and then the stackable magic, just to see. Right. It can be possible if she gets flinched, but I think I can't really test it when she doesn't get flinched. Don't hit me. Poke. You see, I keep getting poked. It's rude. Well, yeah, I do think this is pretty fun. I do like mages. This is great. It's just, you know, that magic in particular is just mostly focused on a single target boss. Mostly a boss killer. And as you know, mages are, their main use is for clearing waves very fast. She can do that. She can definitely do that because she's got Starverse and Galaxy. She can clear waves fast as well. But she has boss killer potential as well. So that's great. Now what I want to do, I'm going to go up against a more difficult enemy and use a full team just to see what that is like. I'm still focusing on the story, by the way. Still haven't done it, but I've done a bit of it. Mostly been doing a lot of farming and grinding stuff. I've been having a lot of fun with this game recently. Probably because Sixth Enhance is still new, I still like it a lot. Let's just go to the arena and do testing. I did want to try out Phal as well, but that's going to be later. How am I going to showcase her properly? Lily Matter, Theophilus. I don't think. Who supports mages? It's hard to think about that. I know you do with your charisma. Yeah, I might as well put that on then. But you're not allowed to cast anything, so take that off. And then best support for a mage, Lelouch, yes. He's amazing. I'll use him. This should be good. Any other supportive arcs that could benefit? Yeah, summon spirits. I think this will be great. I don't think Tinkili does magic damage at all, so I don't think she's needed. Megius doesn't affect magic, it's only skills and special. So that won't help at all. Anything else that could help damage caps? Yeah, I think it's fine. I could use Lelouch and someone else, but I'm gonna try this. Just see how much damage she can do with her Eternal Saber, and maybe Starverse as well. This should be great damage, I hope. I don't know if the boss enemy is weak to light, or if I can get them weak to light. I don't think I can, but it's fine. We're going to be using Summon Spirits. Right. Yeah, I've got to think about the engagement ring buff, because if you're on auto, well, if the AI is controlling a unit, then they're going to be walking around, and it's going to be hard to have the engagement ring buff active. Yeah, that's the thing to think about. Let's use Eternal Saber. And then Lily Matter. I'm going to try and be close to Lelouch for the engagement ring buff, and I want to see how much damage this does. That did a lot. I couldn't see the numbers though, I want to do it again. Let me just stay here and watch this. Okay, that missed. Okay, that's a problem. You saw that. The enemy just moved and it just completely missed. That's a problem, that's a problem. And it makes you think though, if you were to use it in arena, they could just move out of the way and just not get hit. That makes me think about it, but that makes me more convinced that it's mostly focused on bosses that don't move, because if they move like this guy, then he's just gonna miss many times. Do it again. That's better. Yeah, it's still pretty good. Those crits are doing quite a lot. She used a lot of MP for that though, and you saw the enemy just moved out of the way, and she completely missed. This time I'm going to try the other magic skills instead. Just do the same thing, but with the different magic skills. And then, after this, I think I'll try her with the engagement ring buff. I think that'll be fun. Actually, maybe I can do that with Phal, that would be good. So, Charisma, Theopolis first. Summon Spirits. I still love it. And then I can just do Starverse and Lily Matter. I'm just not gonna move. See how much this does. So 7.8 mil, 7.5. That's pretty good, but yes, it doesn't do as much as Eternal Saber. Let's try Holy Nova. That's not doing that much compared to the rest of them. Galaxy should do something. Good. Finish off with the Eternal Saber. Yes. Okay, this is pretty fun. I'm seeing... Yeah, Starverse is still very good. I think Starverse on this Theria will definitely be a good wave clearer, and can farm stages probably with that. You could use her instead of Maja if you want. Maybe that will allow us to... That makes me think, maybe there is some story boss stage that doesn't move, and that you can do auto and use Eternal Saber to get a lot of materials from that. Maybe someone will find one of those stages. I probably won't, but I definitely feel like maybe she could be used for farming, and probably melt a lot of bosses. Anything else I want to test? I don't think there's anything else I want to test with the magic itself, so I think for now I'm going to test her engagement ring buff, and then I will showcase Phal, and it's going to be a mixture of Phal and Theria in the same team, because funny thing is Theria is going to be buffing Phal. That's going to be fun. She doesn't even need to be maxed. You can see she's still level 90 and she's doing a lot with all those supportive buffs, obviously. Actually, yeah, her soul engagement is the highest it can be. It doesn't improve at 5th enhance, so that's fine. I want to use her with Linus. And maybe this will work, potentially, maybe not, I don't know. I just want to test this. So, here's the thing, is her engagement ring buff can buff a mage. It's just hard because it's the higher strength unit, and if it's a mage, then yeah, they're not gonna get that strength buff most of the time if you've got other units in the team. So I want to use Nether Tempest, and why did you not use that? Theophilus. And then just go right up to where he is and then see what the damage is. 46,000 damage, damn. And now if I use that again and then start walking away, 37,000, 39. Yeah, you could see the closer I get to Linus, the more damage it's doing. I'm really close up and it does 46,000. As you know, Linus is amazing, and since he's got double hits, damage cap for him is super important, and damage cap will benefit him so much. This synergy could be ridiculous in certain stages, but right now I don't know where you would want to use this, because it does require a specific team, because Linus needs to have the highest strength in the team. That will be difficult. Or just use Theria and Linus, and maybe that could be good for farming, but I don't know. I'm just thinking about it. Putting on strength ups, yeah, it's difficult. You could use a tank, but even then the tank might have more strength. Like you see Gorm here, he's got similar to strength than Linus. So yeah, it's difficult for Linus to get that engagement ring buff, and he kind of needs it if you're doing a build like this. But you know, Linus getting 10,000 damage cap from the engagement ring buff is so good, and I know it's probably not going to be viable because it requires a lot of setup to work, and a specific team. Like, you can't have another physical DPS in the team. If you have any physical DPS in the team, this team won't work, because Linus isn't going to get the engagement ring buff because he doesn't have enough strength to get that buff. So yeah, I mean, Nael, yeah, but she still has decent strength, I believe, so even her. I mean, let me test that. I could try that, but I still think, could this be a team? I don't know, I'm just thinking. Let me just see what this happens. I assume Nael should get the engagement ring buff, but right now her strength isn't that high, and her damage is based off intelligence, so maybe Linus will get the buff instead. Yeah, Linus does get the engagement ring buff, so Nael can work because her strength is low enough, at least with my current build. That's interesting. So this could be a team, maybe. You can have Nael and Linus and Theria buffing Linus damage caps. That would be fun. But now that also makes me think it will be hard for Theria to give the engagement ring buff to Nael because her strength is quite low. So she's most likely not going to get that strength buff, well, that engagement ring buff, because of her strength. So that's something. Let me just do this one more time just to see. And then we'll try out Phal in a second as well. I definitely want to do that. Go, goes. 46,000. I walk away, starts to do a lot less. You see. Try that again. Yeah. You can definitely see where it cuts off. I still think it's pretty good, it's just... it cuts off quite a lot, like... even if you're close, you could still not have the 10,000 damage cap bonus. I still think it's good though. Actually, I really want to do the damage cap engagement ring buff on Nael. I really want to do that. I'm going to do that now. I'm doing this. This will be fun. Yes, it will. I don't know how much it's going to do, but I must try this. And then we'll try Phal in a minute, and then we'll look at the event and kind of finish off there, I think. But let's go with Summon Spirits, and then Theopolis, and then Nael can just use skills endlessly. So yeah, I can't just start using skills now because I need to be close to Theria to get that buff. So I need to be like right here, and then I can start using skills. And then you can see the damage cap is pretty high now. Obviously, yeah, he's annoying because of guards and stuff, but still. I like it. You know what I'm waiting for? Is the day that Convergence is on a tank. That would be funny. Because Convergence, taking lethal damage, 2% of the damage is MP and survivor 1 HP. Imagine if this was on like Murren or someone like that. That would be so funny. That would be so funny because they would never die ever. Because they have so much MP from the guards, and that'd be stupid. Okay, I've done the testing I wanted to do here. Now, there is one more test I want to do, and I want to start showcasing Phal right now, so I want to show you what I've been doing with Phal. And she is amazing. I'm going to be doing the same stage, because I like doing this stage. And first of all, I'm going to be using this team. This is gonna do some ridiculous damage, I can already tell. I've been using this Ark, and I will show you my build for her because this is what I've been using. I do have everything unlocked apart from the special damage caps and the things I don't need, so I don't need those. And I should get this, but I haven't needed to yet. I probably should get that. I'm gonna get that. There you go. So yeah, I've got everything apart from these three, which I'm not gonna get because I feel like I don't need it. I'm not gonna be using a special, so I skip them. So my build for Phal, pretty much the same build as I showed in the last stream 2 weeks ago. Haven't really changed it. Haven't felt a need to, because there's mostly focus on damage and crit rate. The build itself, full charge. I did focus on the SCT recovery, So I have full charge for the SCT and Goddess Kiss, a lot of crit, every single crit I can possibly get, fast crit, and a lot of damage, Mega Drive, attack raise 2, Pose of Glory. Pirate's Feast was when I was doing multiplayer and trying her out there. Goddess Kiss, Pirate's Feast just great for waves, and then Purple Orb, skill stock's great, Giant Killing, she's mostly against bosses, and Gaze at the end is going to be useful and more damage, so yeah, let's try this out right now. This should do a lot. I haven't tried this yet because this is with Theria, and she's going to be able to give her 10,000 damage cap, and that's going to be fun. I can't wait for that. So first of all, let's do Theopolis. I want to be on top of Theria, literally. And then summon spirits. And now I'm gonna start spamming her skill 3 and I'm gonna see how much it's gonna do. Hopefully. Oh my god. He's just dead. You see that, right? That 12,000 damage cap is Phal hitting 12,000 damage cap. And those extra attacks are from her as well. It's so strong. You see how fast she just killed that enemy. That was ridiculous, and she is the fastest DPS unit in the game currently, even faster than King Bradley. And that's saying something, because King Bradley was the fastest DPS in the game. He still is amazing, it's just Phal kind of raises the bar, and her skill 3 especially is just too damn strong, because it can be spammed so fast. If you have the ability to keep putting on Honey Elixir on her, or ways to get ST to spam her skill 3, then that's going to be some crazy DPS you're seeing. But yeah, that's all I wanted to show for Phal. I could do that one more time, but you get the idea. That did a lot of damage, and she is definitely so good, even though she's a permanent unit. I did say that I wasn't that excited about her, but that was because she is still just a DPS at the end of the day. She's decent in arena, but I'm not really using her there because I have been messing around with different teams and I don't think she's going to be able to fit my current team. So that's all of the testing I'm going to be doing for today, and I know I could build Theria a bit more, but I felt like I showcased everything I needed to with Theria, that I don't need to build her more than I have at the moment. So I'm going to be building her in my own time over the next 2 weeks, and I wonder what the next unit's going to be. It's going to be fun to know. Let's have a look at the events. This is just a basic Sun Vessel event. It is probably going to be fun, and I'm definitely going to be farming this because there is some good stuff here. But it's not the best event. I think it is better than Phal's event, because there are a lot of things you can farm, like these stages if you need the materials. I don't. These for the clusters you can do. Very small chance for the ultra clusters as well. I think it's a good event to farm. And trading space, I might as well look at that as well. Yeah, basic, all the normal event materials. I think I did look at this earlier. Just get everything. Don't really need to say anything about the event trading spaces, do I? Rewards from beating the bosses. There isn't really that much here, personally, because all of these materials I don't really need anymore, because I've got so many already. Yeah, I don't really need any of these. I would have preferred ultra clusters instead. So yeah, these materials aren't really that crazy good compared to other events. And Drill House, I haven't done all of these, but I do like these because this allows me to learn skills on a bunch of units and get some souls, and I just personally like these. It just allows me to build up my account a lot faster. So it's not a crazy event. I still think it's a good event though. I'm just waiting for when there's like one of the events, like the collab or the anniversary, where there's a lot of stuff that you can farm, like get rainbow potions, things like that, but you can't really do that here. This is the boss stage that you're going to be farming with your energy orb recoveries. You might as well farm the hardest difficulty, and that's pretty much the whole event so far. There is probably going to be a part 2 next week, but I don't expect there to be much for that, and that's pretty much the whole event. There isn't really anything else to say about this event. It's just a basic event with a lot of stuff you can farm and get a lot of materials. That's all there is to it, and there are mission rewards as well. I might as well check those. Haven't really looked at those properly. You can get 1 prism from the event. The event mission rewards. There are some tickets. You could use these limited tickets to try and get the Ark. That's probably what I will do. Yeah, I'll definitely do that. This robe, interesting. Just a bunch of materials, some souls and tickets and energy. Not really anything. I do need the splendors, so I'm hoping there's some here. There's this one. Theria's probably going to need this. I need more splendors, I really do. Any more splendors? Doesn't look like it. There's one. Splendor of the World. I don't need Splendor of the World. This is the only one I don't need. I've got 4 of these already. That's the only one I didn't want. It could be either of the other 2, but it wasn't. So yeah, that's just the event. That's everything I wanted to talk about, at least for the event. That's the event, showcase of the unit and Phal and everything. So my conclusion for this event, personally, the event itself I think is good. It's similar to the Sun Vessel event, so I do like that, and I am going to be farming that a lot. I am continuing to play this game a lot every day, so I've been enjoying this a lot. Still one of my favourite games. Definitely is my favourite game that I do play a lot of the time. Apart from the event, the unit itself, I do have a few things to talk about the units. So, I talked about everything earlier, but to summarise everything and my conclusion about this unit, after doing a bit of testing, I think she is definitely a good mage, and her damage cap on her light magic is the highest we've got in the game, so yes, technically, she is the best light mage we've got right now. And she's going to be great for killing bosses as well, and clearing waves. She can do both, as long as you build her for that specific role. Depends on what you're building her for. I don't think she's going to be an arena unit. I still think Maja's better in arena because you've got human geyser, and most units in arena are going to be a human type, or a god type or machine. Either of those types. So, if you're not hitting a Slayer, then maybe Lily-White Maiden Theria will be better in arena, but I just don't see that she's going to be good in arena at all. Maybe. I haven't tried her out yet. Maybe she's got enough damage for it, but I don't see it yet. And the main problem with this unit, like I said earlier, is that we've got Spirit Maiden Theria. And if you're building a team, it means you can't use Spirit Maiden if you're using this version of Theria. So you have to have a good reason to not use Spirit Maiden Theria, or at least I'll give you one example of a team that I would use with the new Theria. So I was using this team with Spirit Maiden Theria. Actually, this was just for testing, I think. Yeah, I think this was just for testing, but I was using this team. But if I was to have a full team with this version of Theria, what I would want to do is, the only reason I would want to use this Theria is to benefit from the engagement ring buff, because if I'm just using her as a light mage, then I don't think that's as much of a benefit as using Spirit Maiden and just a different mage, you know, because you could use Maja and Spirit Maiden in the same team. But you could, what I would recommend is to use this version of Theria and benefit from the engagement ring buff. So I'm going to try and make a team focused on her. So I would use her as a mage and a support for the engagement ring buff. And then I would have a supportive unit to take the role of Spirit Maiden Theria, which can be either Sarah for a support. She would be a good support, but she's not as good for making the team survive. That's the thing. If you want a team to survive, then Moana's going to be better for letting the team survive, for sure. So yes, what you could do is you could have Lily, White Maiden, Theria, and Moana in the same team, and the third unit could be Phal or any long-range physical DPS unit, or someone like that can benefit from the engagement ring buff. What I did want to try out, now I think about it, is a dual-wield Roy with the engagement ring buff, because giving 10,000 damage cap to Roy with dual wield is actually pretty good. I'm not going to do that right now, I might try that later, but if I think about it, this team itself might be pretty good. Phal is the main long-range physical DPS, which can go right on top of Theria for the engagement ring buff. And then Moana is going to be the main support for spamming Glass Record and allowing the whole team to take less damage and survive and heal. So this team actually might be pretty good. But if you're using any physical DPS, like if you were to use Luke, for instance, because you can use Trishula and it's very good. If you were to use him, then you can't really benefit from the engagement ring buff from Theria that much, because he is going to be right up in the face of the enemy somewhere, and Theria is going to be at the back trying to cast magic and stuff. So they're going to be far away, that you're not going to benefit from the engagement ring buff that much. So the only way you can benefit from that is if either you use someone else as a long-range physical DPS, or you just get Theria and you get her right in the battle and on top of where Luke is hitting, and then he can benefit from the engagement ring buff. But you'd have to make her pretty tanky in most situations, because she'll be getting hit a lot if you're doing something like that. But it can be a viable option. Her paid robe will allow you to do that a lot easier, because it makes you take less damage. So that's kind of what I'm thinking. Teams focused on this Theria, but if you think about it, there aren't that many teams that can benefit a lot from this Theria at the moment. Right now, Spirit Maiden is still the best option, because she's been the best unit in the game. I know, I'm not comparing the two, I'm just saying if you had an option, you have to have a reason to want to use this and have a team focused around using this unit, because it either has to be because you want to use her as a supportive unit for the engagement ring buff for the damage cap, or because you want to use her as a mage. That's basically the only two reasons that I see you wanting to use this version of this unit. So that's basically where I'm sitting right now. I think she's great. She is going to be a good unit. It's just more situational of a unit, and it's not something you need, because if you've got Spirit Maiden, then you don't really need this version of this unit. But if you want to have some fun with this unit, and she's still the best light mage we've got right now, and the best support technically, because the best support for damage cap, what I mean, because she gives 10,000 damage cap, and that's continuous to her and one other unit. So 10,000 damage cap is the highest we've seen, at least on a trait that's a buff and continuous throughout the whole battle. But you have to build around that, because like I said many times, the two units have to be super close to each other, basically on top of each other, to benefit from that the most. So you got to make a team around that, but it's no big deal. That's kind of what I think about Theria. Lily White Maiden Theria, she's great. I definitely think she's a good unit, and a lot of people may enjoy the look of her, but a lot of people may be disappointed because Theria has high expectations. Because I just want to show you one more thing about Theria. She's got 3 viable options now. She's got Saintly Theria, which many people are using in Arena for her, mostly her trait 2 for the SCT buff. A lot of people are using Saintly Theria, so this version of Theria is viable, still viable, because of her trait 2. And obviously we got Spirit Maiden, which is the best unit in the game, so obviously still viable. It can be used pretty much in every team ever. And now we've got this version of Theria, which is obviously viable because she's new. So Theria is just such a good unit that she's got 3 different shifts, and they're all still viable in the game. It is quite funny to me, and I think this version of Theria is going to be a long-term unit as well, mostly because of the engagement ring buff. So that's my opinions on the unit. And the Ark, I didn't manage to get it. You shouldn't pull for it specifically because it is an SSR Ark, but Road Boost Plus and Sorcery Awaken, I think they're very good, and the Ark trait's decent. The Archive Reward is okay, but in general I think this is a very good Ark to have, so what I would recommend for most people to do, use your limited tickets that you get from this event, and you might as well use them and try to get this Ark from tickets if you're incredibly lucky. I did try to use a few tickets to get it, but I didn't manage to get anything. I'm going to be saving the rest of these, and hopefully I get it later. If not, I probably won't get it for a while. It's probably going to appear when I'm trying to pull for someone else. That's definitely going to happen. That's going to be annoying, but that's pretty much everything I wanted to talk about, and my conclusion on everything. This update isn't super exciting, but to me, I am definitely going to have a lot of fun with this update still, because there's a lot of stuff I still want to do with my account. I've been focusing a lot on this game, and I still want to learn every skill on every unit. I need to build Lily White Maiden Theria, and I want to build Bruto with his Godforge paid equipments and his 6th enhance, and also Murren and his 6th enhance, and that's a lot of stuff I need to do. So yeah, make sure to log in daily and stock up on these tickets, because Ascended Zaix is an amazing unit for farming. Vayne is still great in Arena, but he's been falling off a little bit recently. But Zaix is like the #1 farming unit that everyone's been using in multiplayer, so if you manage to get Zaix, that's a huge win. So make sure to log in every day, at least do something, and do the event, and do these free 10 pulls as well. Maybe you'll get something, maybe you'll get Murren because he's amazing. I'm using him as a tank right now in Arena. He's good. I really want his 6th enhance as soon as possible. And yeah, that's everything from this update. This update isn't too exciting to most people, and there isn't really that much to add. Comparing to the anniversary and collab is underwhelming, but it's going to be like that for the majority of updates, because they won't be able to reach those expectations from events and stuff, because those are like they're bigger events than what we have currently. I still think these events are fun to me. It's just not as many things to show off and talk about, but a lot more of it is farming, which isn't really something I can show. So yeah, there should be some new story coming eventually, maybe like next month or in the next few months, I don't know. And there will be some more updates, but for now, isn't really that much that I can talk about at the moment. So I'm going to leave it there. My guess is that after 2 weeks, it should be another DOH unit. No idea who it is. Could be a Prefect of God or Advocate of God unit. Who knows? I don't really know who it's going to be. I'm going to be continuing the story and doing a bunch of farming in this game. And then after those 2 weeks, the next unit after that might be a summer unit. If it's not, then the summer unit should be close. Should be coming up very soon, next month. So think about that, because summer units are limited, so you could save for that if you want. At the moment, I would recommend to save for the summer unit, because they could be good, and we don't know just yet. So save for it just in case, and it's limited. They don't come around very often. I'm gonna leave it there. I'll be back for the next stream in 2 weeks. Right now, I've just been keeping this channel on doing these live streams, because I've been enjoying doing these live streams every 2 weeks and not focusing on doing any videos on anything. So the channel is going to be staying like this for the foreseeable future, and I'm glad that I'm able to keep up content like this. So even though it's not too much on the channel, I think it's still good, you know, and these streams are still helpful to a lot of people, I hope. And yeah, I think that's all I'm going to say for this stream. I'm going to be focusing on my account, building it up a lot. As you can see, I'm getting close to level 52 already. I've been leveling up a lot of stuff, so I've been quite busy in this game recently. Ever since the anniversary, I've been quite more busy than usual. So yeah, I'll see you in 2 weeks. It's been 2 hours 15 minutes for this stream. I will add the timestamps very soon later today. If you want to see this as a video, you can see it, up to you. If you find any of this useful, then I'm glad you were to find this useful, and I will see you in the next one in 2 weeks. Bye.